Hello everyone, hello, Katie here, and I'm on month 4, April. And just to give you a little summary of this project, I am going month by month here in this is a 2025, here in 2026, common planner, and from Sterling Ink. And I had collected all of the 2024 sticker kits and never used them. And so I'm like, how do I use them? I want to put them all in one planner, but it doesn't work with what I'm doing now because I usually use a hybrid. And I thought, how could I kind of like just keep it all in one book so I can thumb through it at some point? And I also decided to weave in like these alternate versions of myself. If I had gone and made other decisions, where would I be? And these were just kind of like dreams I had. And so they're kind of like writing characters in book, and they're kind of like exploring parts of me that I would enjoy. And so some of the parts I'm like, oh, I could incorporate that into like what I'm doing now, or just kind of say goodbye to them as well in a lovely, loving way, just kind of like, here we go. It's off into the wind, and I'm kind of done with that. So I've done the last 3. I've actually filled out the monthly and the weeklies, and you can go back. I'll link them down below. We've gotten through January, February, and March here. And so I think I'm trying to decide which way I'm going to go with this. Because these take so long, you will see the lighting change. It's just, I'm loving using natural light, but also it changes. So these take a few hours to film. And because I'm doing usually I do like a half hour per spread. And then also, at least a half hour on a monthly. But I'm also trying to like weave in a story of like what this person would be like and come up with names and things. So we are, let's see, how much is in May? 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because it goes all the way here. So yeah, I'll go with my rule of, because there's mostly May in this one, it looks like we only have 4 weeks, which is good because I don't have complete sticker kits. These aren't like you get the whole batch in an envelope. These are ones that I just kind of purchased individually and have kind of used here and there. And I'm using up what I have left. So we will have 1, 2, 3, 4 spreads. And then this will be in the May one. I also just wanted to use this series as also just playing with this layout. I have seen so many different kinds of layouts that I just wanted to try different things to see if maybe a Sterling Ink in a different layout, like I did this one last week, pretty much a horizontal, and renumbered it here. And just see how that works. I'm hopefully not going to run out of this whiteout. I know I can order some more. They do have it here in the Netherlands here. If you're new here, I moved about a year ago. So I have some like leftover of these from when I had an undated. So I've been kind of using these numbers, and I have like 2 months here. Yeah, I don't think I'll need a 20. Let's just hope I don't need these numbers here for one of them. I do have one more of those. So I just have 2 of the script days of the week for the top, which is good because I've been using them like crazy. They have been on every single one. I'm also trying to use up as much as I can. And it's getting to be a little much, like it's getting to be a little repetitive. So I want to use these up, but a couple of the weeks won't have them. I placed the really big sticker in there. I have a few of these, and I have a ton of strips here. So this might be more strip heavy. And I'll have to see this persona. Okay. So then I have to come up with a persona for each of these. And this is the version of me. Again, they don't have another name. Sometimes I work with people who have other names in this persona. And I love the comment someone left, and you know who you are. About getting to know like one of it was in February. I had an assistant named Sydney, and you said, wouldn't it be fascinating to see Sydney's planner? And I'm like, I agree. So if you want to look back at that one, that one's fun. So this persona, I'm going a little bit more literal with this. I guess I did literal with this one too. I did like mosaic. It just kind of anchors me a little bit more. This one was a letterpress print shop that I was running. And I realized I forgot to put in some info here. So I do try to go back and add a few things here and there. So for this persona, I've had a dream of living in Ireland. I do very much want to visit since we're a lot closer now. And I don't know if you followed, there's a woman who just moved there. I'll link her below, who kind of shared her experience coming over from Idaho in the US. And she's just been an absolute delight to watch. So I've been watching her and being reminded of that was part of a dream from my 19, 20 kind of age, and kind of reconnecting to some Celtic roots. We did find that we have direct ancestors from there, but it doesn't amount to enough for us to get passports from there and do citizenship. But I wanted to, because of the crystals on here, and I love looking at rocks. We want to go to, and I think we'll go in the next few days, to the Taylor's Museum here in Harlem that has a huge collection of crystals and rocks and things. And I wanted to go on that vibe. So be a geologist. I have thought about like archaeology as well, but for this one, it's kind of like a blend of those two, but like I'm cataloging and I'm, studying and I don't know, that kind of stuff. I think I'll dive deeper as I'm putting stuff down here. And there's a town called Galway on the west coast, and near there's an area called the Burren, and that has a bunch of geological phenomena going on there because it was the seabed floor, and there's lots to study there. And so I don't know, I just kind of went with that. It isn't like, these aren't supposed to be exact dreams, but there are things that I find are like really interesting that, my dream stemmed from something I experienced when I was 7 or 8 years old. So what I remember from back then, or what my idea of was, what does a geologist do? Like, that's what I'm just kind of running with. And now with my adult brain, like now I can look up online because there was no internet back then. I'm that old, yes. And like dive into it and go, well, what does it look like to have the grown-up dream of doing this? So, I kind of see these geometry things on here, kind of like measuring or documenting. And some of this though is like tickets and stuff. And I don't know what I'll associate with that, but there's like, this looks like a newspaper. I'm not trying to exactly match what Catherine's idea was of all of this. I don't actually know. I've never talked to her, but I'm taking my own influences of like, what am I interpreting from here to make it as tangible as possible and lay out like a week. So I am going to figure out how I'm going to use a lot of these strips in different ways. So that's my challenge. So I'll have this playing music. You can see the fast version of me doing all of this, and I will catch you on the other side. Okay, I am back, and it takes time. It takes time to do all of this. So, wanted to tell you a bit more about this version of myself. This version does have a child, and I put football, violin, and some weekend games. I guess they're on Sundays. I think they're normally on Saturdays, but we're just going to go with it right now. So I put cave access. So I did a little research. I do light research for these. And there are certain times that you have access to things. And as a geologist, I thought it'd be good to kind of mark those times that you could go in there and get that kind of stuff. She is someone who needs to be organized with everything, to catalog everything. But also she's a bit looser, so I used like script writing, cursive throughout all of this. A lot of this other stuff was print to contrast. And I have a little to-do area. I thought she'd be someone who would track her sleep, her water, and her walks. And her walks definitely are part of her how she, gets her work done, but wants to kind of track what she's doing there. So I put 10 to 4, and so walking could be kilometers. So walking is kilometers, water is cups, and sleep is hours. And I figured I could use 4 to 10 for all of these. And I just made up numbers on the bottom, but I wanted to show like how you could track on the bottom throughout all of the weeks and kind of have it color coded. Now I have the erasable, these are friction. I guess they do say point on them, but I thought there was, Pilot. I was like, somebody makes these. It's the same version as my black one. It's just in different colors here. I used to use them a lot, but not so much anymore. But it's nice. I'm glad I brought them with. And then I put like meal planning in the middle, just really simple. I liked making like the structure with this Mr. Pen. It's a little bit more kind of gray purple, which is kind of the colors in here, especially right here. And wanted to really define the sections out in a very consistent way. Leave room on the top. Use these as kind of a way to kind of sandwich this area a little bit more together. She's working like 9 to 4 every day and has like a half day on Fridays. Has her little to-do list here. And kind of kept that consistent. Wanted to mark when she was going to Dublin, because I thought, she might have to jet over there to do research or submit some things. And then, I didn't put the hours on here. I can do that real quick while we're talking. So yeah, of just, what would, now this one day, where was it? Very first time, she gets out early to help, do the violin lesson, or for some reason got out early. But these other times, that was just like a special case of some kind. In my mind, anyway. But she likes to keep very regular hours. And, through her job of cataloging things, she kind of sticks to the book. And yeah, if I didn't mention this, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this. Lives in Galway, goes down to the Burren, which is just south of there, but along the coast of the west coast of Ireland there. So there we go. And yeah, I'm trying to think like what else. Yeah, I don't think there's games on Sunday. I just realized, like here in the Netherlands, I don't know. I don't know if there are. So I'm just going to pretend if it's a Saturday or Sunday game. I'm thinking American. I am. I'm thinking of like, when would there be games? Sometimes there's evening games, but Yeah, I didn't put any evening games. So that's it. Wanted to mark the market day. What else on here? Yeah, I cut this sticker. I was thinking about cutting some more to just really define these separate areas. I thought there was one other little detail. That I wrote in the days of the week when I didn't have them and just kind of made do, and they kind of just blend in a little bit, because that's part of like her tool set of just keeping everything organized. And she definitely knows how to, sub in things and get the job done and that kind of thing. So to me, it's a much more quiet life. Some of these previous ones, there's a bunch of running around and travel and things like that. And there's more coming up. I'll say August definitely is going to be a travel one, but I want to do something quieter, something where she does have a child and she's kind of navigating that, but also has a job here that she's balancing out. I don't really talk about partners in these or anything. It just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter if there's one there or not in these scenarios. Maybe I've mentioned it before. I don't know, but I've just, she could be a single mom. She could be married. I have no idea. Or in a partnership, whatever. So yeah, it is very much the same. But yeah, marking those Dublin weekends just to travel there for an overnight. For what reason? Could be mostly work, could be just part of the game schedule. I don't know. I just felt like it was important. So yeah, I kind of like this. I like how like grayed out this is and how simple like the meal planning is. And just to have this giant area at the bottom where you can actually see the fluctuations more. I've done charts where they're like maybe this big, like half the size. And it can be kind of hard to see on there, like the fluctuations. It can still work, but I kind of liked just using this whole bottom area. And, a couple times the stickers got in the way and sometimes they didn't because I imagined different numbers. So anyway, I'll clean up my space slightly here. And let me know what you think of this, of having like just a quieter layout. Like, is this something that's more practical? I kind of find like, because I did it this way, it could be more relatable. Again, because this version of me is not traveling everywhere. They're not, yeah, it's a quieter life. And I do very much identify with a quieter life, but I also, I'm imagining this person wouldn't be on YouTube. They wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. So yeah. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. That the collections are definitely kind of playing to my autistic tendencies, that I want to find and complete collections, that I'm helping bring together a lot of information, that there's these rhythms of the earth around me, that some areas are just not accessible all the time, that they, and that the flowers are coming and going, with all the flowers in these stickers, they could be very seasonal, and April in this area would definitely have like things changing just like here. Spring can be very much, then this blooms, then this blooms, then this blooms. So I know stargazers are a bit more in the summer, but because we had them at when are they? I think of lilies. I think of, midsummer. You need some heat for the lilies to come out, whether they're daylilies, stargazers. a bunch of those. But yeah, let me know if you know. But that's been my experience. When we tried to go like seasonal with our wedding flowers. And I don't quite know what these blue ones are. They look like a type of bluebell, but I don't know. So anyway, if you enjoyed this, consider liking it on the way out. It helps a ton. Consider subscribing and sticking around and finding out what the rest of the year looks like. Leave comments. I would love to hear like ideas for the next ones. You can look at Sterling Inc.'s website and look at the upcoming months. They're all there. I keep referring back to it. And let me know if you have ideas for future months here, like looking into Sydney's planner. I don't know how that would work, but it's a great idea, and I'm just trying to see, could I fit that in somewhere? I very much love ideas like this. Like, I'm taking my thoughts and dreams, but I want to add to them to make them more full. And that's what part of this is. Again, not something too specific to Ireland other than the areas. But that's kind of like how it is here in the Netherlands too. Like, we talk about certain things, but there's also just life how it is. So, you just keep going. Thank you for putting up with the lighting changes. I'm going to try to adjust as much as I can, but it got late, and at least I still have some light. And I will see you next time. Take care, everyone. Bye.